Hey guys, Lytane here, and thank you so much for checking out my video. It really means a lot to me. It is no secret that I love Disney. In fact, I did an entire month dedicated to Aladdin where I was singing and dancing and riding a magic carpet. It was a lot of fun. You should click up on the card if you want to see those reviews. Now, of course, that means I have to talk about the new live-action Aladdin movie that has just come out. So let's see if Aladdin 2019 is worth it. This is where I talk about the story for the movie, and it is pretty much the exact same as the cartoon. Jafar is an evil magician. He wants to rule all of Agrabah, and to do so, he wants the genie's lamp hidden inside the Cave of Wonders. But only a diamond in the rough can enter there, so he has to find such a person. Enter Aladdin. He's our plucky hero, street rat thief that's stealing from the rich but giving to the poor, so that makes him a good guy, right? After a fateful encounter with a princess that he falls head over heels for, he then gets captured by Jafar as he is that diamond in the rough. Inside the Cave of Wonders, he makes friends with a lovely carpet before he finds the magical lamp. Inside the lamp is the genie, and with it comes 3 wishes. Anything that he could possibly think of can be his. As he was smitten over the Princess Jasmine, he decides that he wants to become a prince in order to woo her and marry her. Shenanigans ensue as we watch one of the tables from an Arabian Night. This review is going to be structured very differently from nearly every other Worth It that I've done because this movie is still fresh and it's in cinemas, so just bear that in mind as I go forward. I want to start with the pros, and the costume design is incredible in this film. Jasmine has such beautiful gowns and they have a wide variety for her, not just the one standard staple that she had in the cartoon. Aladdin also gets a few changes of clothes and all of his look really good. Honestly, the costumes for about every character are on point, except for maybe Jafar, but I will get to him when I talk about the cons section, so there's a slight warning there. The set design for this film is also fantastic. Nearly every place that we go to looks really cool. The palace on the inside is so full of life and color, and it feels like a real place. The markets and the streets also feel real, and they have a much dirtier feeling to them compared to the palace. The contrast between the rich and the poor is very evident here, more so than it was in the cartoon. And I like all of the sets. They look really good, and they just stand out because they just have so much love and care put in them. The part of Jasmine is played by Naomi Scott, and she is very beautiful and she is very strong, and I think she takes real good pride and ownership of this part of Jasmine. Mina Masood, I think that's how you say his last name, I'm not sure, plays Aladdin. He is also very good. He comes off really cocky and also very silly, and he just does a very good job playing Aladdin. One thing I was unsure about was how the genie was going to be handled. Robin Williams is iconic as the genie, and when they tried to recreate that with Dan Castellaneta as the TV show and in the second movie, it just fell kind of flat, where they couldn't quite capture the magic that is Robin Williams. Will Smith plays the genie this time, but he plays it completely different than what Robin Williams played. You can still see little hints and traces of that genie because you can't get rid of it all, but he plays it more as a Fresh Prince genie than a stand-up comedian genie. And honestly, it's fine. I liked Will Smith as the genie. I didn't expect to, but I did. He has a lot of great lines, a lot of humor, and the few times where the Robin Williams comes through is a little bit jarring, but aside from that, honestly, over the vast majority of the film, I liked his take on the genie. Let's start with the music. These are iconic songs, but most of them aren't very well done. The first one, Arabian Nights, is good. Friend Like Me is different, but in a good way. I didn't mind it. But then after that, I started noticing some problems as the movie went on. There is no magic in this film. There is no passion. There is no spectacle. Now, one thing that I was really looking forward to is the fact that we have live action people that will be involved with all of this magic. I knew that Will Smith was going to be playing a different type of genie, but I still expected some bombastic magic energy. And there's none. When you see Friend Like Me, it is so much more tamer than what the cartoon was, and that baffles me because you can do so much with CGI and with the characters, but they tame it back quite a bit. This was still alright because the changes that they did make to it kind of made up for it, so I didn't quite mind it. But then when we get to Prince Ali, the problems really start to compound. I can't help but compare it to the cartoon. Prince Ali is a hype song. It's supposed to get you pumped. It's supposed to make all of the audience that is in Agrabah really excited for Prince Ali before he even reaches the palace. This is done by Robin Williams going through the crowd and interacting with them in all different ways. He plays different characters, he transforms into different things, and he's singing the song while trying to make Aladdin look really impressive. This is all to build that hype. The live action doesn't have much of that. Will Smith is standing at the front of this parade and he is dancing. And like I said, the choreography here is really good. But he is not going through the crowd, he is not trying to hype up them or anything. He's just singing his song and dancing, and that's about it. They don't even commit to this type of scene either, because there's only one point in the entire song where Genie enters the crowd as a woman, as a reference to the cartoon. That's it. That's the only time where he transforms into something else in the song as a way to hype up the crowd, as a way to show something different. That's it. I was expecting so much more magic, so much more spectacle, and at times there are, like I said, that dance, the dance numbers and like the choreography is a lot more spectacle, but then everything around it was just kind of flat. Then we get to A Whole New World, and oh my god, they botched that hard. They don't really do anything here. It is a poorly lit sequence where a lot of it is dark, just like in the cartoon, but you can't see enough of the landscape or of the characters. It's just not very well lit. As they're flying around, they go over the desert, they go over the ocean, they go over like some ponds, and that's it. I was joking with my girlfriend afterwards saying that, how is this a whole new world? Literally everything that they show you in this sequence can be seen from Jasmine's window. That is not a new world, that is just some of the world that she can see up close. In the cartoon, they go to China, they go to Greece, they go to Egypt and a few other places. It is a really exciting sequence, it is magical, and you can even remember some of the stuff, like when they're flying through the clouds and they're shaping the clouds with the carpet, or when they're, skimming across the water and they've come too far and stuff like that. It is so iconic and so magical in the cartoon, and here, there's no magic, there's no wonder, there's no passion. It is just a couple of people singing, which is obviously auto-tuned as well, because I don't think they could hit those notes in harmony quite well, and they just don't do a very good job of it. I was like, why? This is the most magical scene of the entire film, aside from maybe A Friend Like Me, like I said, but it's so bad. It's just, I'm just gobsmacked at how boring and lifeless it was. But one positive though is the new song Speechless. That is a legitimately good song. I quite enjoyed it. I think it was very powerful. I like that Jasmine actually got a full song to herself in this film, because aside from A Whole New World, she doesn't sing anything in the original movie. So this is a nice addition. I think it was a little bit funny how they put it into the full song into the end of the film, but that's just a little bit of a nitpick. I think she could have just done the song without having the people disappear like it's a dream sequence in the final film. She could have just sung it. It didn't have to be a dream sequence, but that's a digression too far. I enjoyed the film. In fact, I enjoyed it so much that I did my very own cover of the song called Remake. So take it away. Green screen, Paul. Take it away. Here comes a film meant to blow me away, tugging at all my nostalgia. But now I stand left with nothing to say. The mouse has taken it too far. I don't know why, and I will start to question whenever they try to make these live action. Where is the magic, the passion on the screen? No wonder to be found here. All I know is I don't want remakes. The cartoon is so full of life and color. You completely missed the point here, 'cause I know that I don't want remakes. Written in haste, every song, every scene, without the love, just for moolah. For a new audience, what does that mean? The original's cooler, 'cause I cannot stop my questions. I want to know why do you keep making these? Where is the magic, the passion on the screen? No wonder to be found here. All I know is I don't want remakes. Remakes, these are soulless, a poor imitation, when the classics are better. 'Cause I know that I don't want remakes. Why do they not understand what made the classics memorable? I will say that it is greed, and they will burn all of their fans. Hear the fans as they cry, where is the magic? You think to make it better, but then you go and botch it. All I know is I don't want remakes. Remakes, I will show my kids only the cartoons, because they are better in all ways. 'Cause I know that I don't want remakes. All I know is I don't want remakes. Remakes. In the cartoon, Jafar is the villain. He is very memorable. His outfit is interesting. He's so over the top in his performance, and he is both very silly and menacing at the same time. He is a very good villain, and he is very fun. The movie is forgettable. Like I said, the costume design for Jafar is pretty bland, especially compared to the other characters. I get it's going with the theme that the rest of the movie has, but it doesn't stand out. Now, because of that, he is already more forgettable. His acting is a little bit more menacing than what the cartoon Jafar has, but that's about it. He has a little bit of a cooler backstory at points where he has one interaction with Jafar just before they go, one interaction with Aladdin before they go into the Cave of Wonders, where he says that he used to be a thief, and he has probably one of the best lines in that sequence, where he says like, steal an apple and they call you a thief, you steal a country, they call you a statesman. It's very well written, it's a very good line. I like that little addition of the character. Everything else was horrible. Then we come to the big climax of the film where, Jafar is to fight Aladdin. Even here, they botched it. The cartoon has lots of magic going on. Because he is now the most powerful sorcerer in the entire world, he is doing all crazy cool stuff like turning Raja into a kitten, unraveling carpet, turning the Abu into a little toy. He's doing all this stuff, and he's doing it without effort. It shows how powerful and how hard he is to beat. Aladdin only beats him by outsmarting him, and it shows that, it's not just brawn, but you need brains in order to stop the bad guy. It's good. The live action, however, is just a single chase scene through Agrabah with Iago and Abu and Princess Jasmine and Aladdin fighting over the lamp, while Jafar is kind of just standing there controlling the parrot a little bit. He doesn't even turn into a giant snake. I was looking forward to it. Cartoon hasn't turned into a giant snake and try and kill Aladdin. It is so bombastic. It is so big. It is so magical. Here, it's not magical. They're just flying through the city. this is exciting at points, but there's just no fun. The rest of the time, he freezes the rest of the characters in place, and that's it. I love the new additional scene where Aladdin breaks into the palace just before he gets captured for the Cave of Wonders, where he spends some time with Jasmine. It just builds up their relationship a bit better, and it just has some cuteness there. That's really good. I like that additional scene. But there's so many negatives that I want to say. Like, the start of the film has one jump straight off the bat, and Jasmine isn't introduced as a character, so you don't know that she's in disguise or anything like that. She's just sort of there, and then they do their one jump sequence, and she's just sort of hammed into Aladdin's song. She's just next to him and, you know, following along with his escape from the bad guys. It's really, really strange. I get that they wanted them to have more screen time together before he turns into Prince Ali, so then they can build a better relationship. But it was just really strange. That's how they wanted to start the film. Do you know what I expect from the Cave of Wonder? Wonder. The cartoon has this big scene when the Cave of Wonders comes out. You know, the bug comes down and then the cave is like, roar, and it's this really cool scene, and it really establishes as a place and as a character. It is really fun and pretty memorable as one of the first scenes of the film. But in the remake, the Cave of Wonders is just a lion's head against a wall. It doesn't really move, it doesn't really do anything, it doesn't get summoned, there's no spectacle here. There's nothing. And then when the Cave of Wonders does the whole, well, it's not even the Cave of Wonders, it's Jafar that gives all the rules before he goes in, so the cave has even fewer lines. The cave says, like, do not touch any treasure except for the lamp. That's fine, that's the rules. And so when they're going in, Aladdin sees one of the jewels and he's like, oh, I want to touch it. But he doesn't because Abu stops him, which is nice because it doesn't make all of the fault entirely on Abu. It's like a nice little change. Then they touch so much treasure. At one point, Abu's riding on his shoulder, then he jumps off, crashes through the treasure, and rolls around before he gets up. And I'm like, okay, why didn't that trigger the Cave of Wonders? Then when he's climbing up the weird staircase and mountain in order to get to the lamp, he is holding on and touching treasure as he's going up through the sequence. And I'm like, he's touching so much treasure! Then he knocks off this giant ruby that falls down, and then Abu sees it and he's like, he puts his hand out to catch it before it falls down all the way. That's what's triggered the Cave of Wonders. I'm like, that seems more like an accident. In the cartoon, Abu sees this ruby and he can't help himself and he touches it. Here, he just accidentally catches it, and I guess there still is the, he still has the intention that he does want it and he does want to steal it, but it just felt so much more accidental. Like, it wasn't a, I must touch this kind of thing. It was all like, whoa, I'll get it. Okay, cool, oh shiz, I destroyed the cave. All I can say is, after all of this, Aladdin was not worth it. I don't know why the Disney company keeps making these live action remakes when they don't do anything different with the source material, and the stuff that they do try and change, it's for the worst. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of greed. They say that they're trying to remake these films for a new audience, but what does that even mean? The original cartoon has so much life, so much personality to it, and it has such a fun and magical element to it that was not recreated in this live action. I really enjoyed some parts of it, don't get me wrong, but it's far inferior to the cartoon. If I was to show my friends, or family, or my children only one Aladdin film, I would pick the cartoon because it is better. The animation is fantastic, the songs are better sung, the magic and the spectacle is so much better there than compared to this movie, which, like I said, does have some good points, but it's just not worth it. I hate the fact that Aladdin is just a long line of all of these live action remakes, when we had Dumbo, Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, which was horrible, as well as Cinderella, and in the future we're going to be getting Mulan and Lion King, which, oh my god, I can't wait to rip into Lion King, because woo, it's going to be gonna be fun. I wanted to like this film, and if they had changed everything dramatically, that would have been interesting at the very least. The changes that they did do, some of them were fine, some of them weren't. It just was not good enough. So guys, tell me what you thought about this live action remake of Aladdin. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is it better than the original? Am I crazy? Because this has gotten a really good score on the internet, so maybe I'm in the minority here, because I don't think it was nearly as magical or nearly as good as the original was. And maybe if the original didn't exist, this movie would have been fine and fantastic the way it was. But the original does exist, so it has to be compared. That's just how it is. Also, it was really fun making a new song. I haven't done that in like over a year with Remake. I'm still getting over my sickness, so that was really hard to record, and it sounds a little crummy, but it was a lot of fun. Let me know if you liked the song, and what's the next Disney thing that I should try and sing about? I say try because that's honestly what I do. I try. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!